Sunday, October 20th. Can it be considered the greatest day for New Zealand cricket? Because you saw on that day in the morning, New Zealand men's team, the Black Caps, ended 36 years of pain by winning a test in India. Somewhere down the line, it could be considered the final frontier for New Zealand because they have not won a test series in two countries, India and South Africa. They managed to win a test in India after 36 years. 10 out of the 11 members weren't even born at that time. But in the evening time, the crescendo was reached when the New Zealand women's cricket team managed to win the Women's T20 World Cup for the first time ever. And boy, oh boy, were there celebrations galore, because look at these three particular individuals that's there. Sophie Devine, Leigh Tahuhu, Suzie Bates. All three of them for 18 years have managed to ensure that New Zealand cricket somewhere has a footing amongst the top 2 or 3 nations in the world. Now, Sophie Devine and Suzie Bates has become the most capped international women's player ever, and she's ended potentially her career on the highest of high. Sophie Devine also a divine intervention that happened in Dubai that day. But look at the other celebrations. When they were going out to the team bus, Suzie Bates engaged in a lot of dancing outside the stadium. And then Amelia Kerr led a Maori tribute to New Zealand, Aotearoa, with the trophy that was there. Melly Kerr managed to ensure that yes, there was a tribute that they would give. Normally, they follow the New Zealand rugby team. Whenever they win a major title, they conduct a haka. Here, they decided to do a Maori musical tribute in that way. You remember this iconic photo and remember it to June 29th? That is what both New Zealand legends, if you look at Suzie Bates and Sophie Devine, did it. On the floor, spread out after winning the T20 World Cup. Rohit Sharma had done the similar thing at Barbados at that point in time. And Georgia Halliday, when you look at it, she wanted to sing, and in the dressing room, she really ensured that there was a festive atmosphere indeed. Because you have to go back 24 years ago for New Zealand to have a double delight, not on the same day, not on the same month, but in the same year when you look at it. Because it was in 2000 that you may say that perhaps New Zealand cricket finally came of age, because they managed to win. The New Zealand women's team were the first to win an ICC event when they beat Australia by 4 runs at Bay Oval. Now, in that ODI World Cup, it was the closest World Cup that was ever contested, and the New Zealand women's team won their first major ICC trophy by beating Australia by 4 runs. But then, several months later, the New Zealand men's team managed to win the ICC Champions Trophy. It was the first year where you saw, by the turn of the century, you saw that yes, both the men and the women's team won their respective ICC events. New Zealand beating India. It was a spectacular collapse from India that ensured that New Zealand had a total not much to chase. Chris Cairns, just on one leg, scored a century along with Roger Toos and Chris Harris, and ensured that New Zealand got their first major ICC event. Now, unfortunately, then heartbreaks would follow. For 2 decades, we saw New Zealand cricket unfortunately suffer. But then, in 2024, remarkably on the same day, New Zealand men's team won a test in India, ending 36 years of pain. The New Zealand women's team winning their first ICC Women's T20 World Cup trophy after being runners-up in 2 consecutive occasions in 2009 and 2010. In 2009, Sophie Devine was there, so was Suzie Bates. They saw at Lord's how they panicked and managed to lose the game. In 2010, they were 1 shot away, but Ellis Perry's football skills in Bridgetown ensured that yes, they would be denied the title. So, England and Australia denied them in 2009 and 2010, South Africa not so much so. So, when you look at it, there are now 4 major ICC trophies that the New Zealand cricket team, both men and women, have won throughout. 2024 T20 World Cup, the New Zealand White Ferns have won it. 2000, and if you look at it, the White Ferns won the ODI World Cup. the men's team, the Black Caps, won the 2000 Champions Trophy. Then the Black Caps, after 21 long years, managed to win another ICC event by winning the ICC World Test Championship. If you want to ask, there are a lot of similarities. New Zealand came here on the back of 10 straight T20I losses and they won the title. It kind of takes you back to 2021 where the Australia men's team lost 8 out of 10, yet they managed to win the T20 World Cup right here in the UAE. If there are other similarities, South Africa in the same year losing the men's and the women's T20 World Cup. The men's T20 World Cup lost by 7 runs, the women's T20 World Cup unfortunately by a bigger margin. Is this the greatest day for New Zealand cricket? I would argue that potentially June 23, 2021 should be the greatest day for New Zealand cricket, because they are the first team in the history of the sport to become the World Test Champions. Sure, the women's team, the likes of Suzie Bates and Sophie Devine have gotten the ultimate farewell, but winning a Test Championship, the pinnacle of cricket, should be considered as one of them. Yes, 20th October is definitely there amongst the greatest days for New Zealand cricket, but June 23, 2021 is definitely even better than that. Thank you so much folks for joining us for this video, and congratulations to the White Ferns and the Black Caps for achieving history on the same day. We'll be back with more updates. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. Bye-bye.